Hey, good evening, guys. It's your boy, Atypical Security Guard. Just finishing up my shift here in Portland, Oregon. About to head home. I wanted to talk about a situation that happened here over the weekend that led to a community question that I asked today. So, over the weekend, on Saturday specifically, we had a person that was stabbed right outside of the location where I work. This stabbing happened. According to the subject, he was carjacked. Someone had opened the door, had stabbed him, pulled him out of the car, and stolen his vehicle. We, clearly working inside the location, did not see this happen. This person came up to the door with a very, very pronounced and potentially life-threatening wound underneath his armpit. We did not see anyone else in the vicinity. This person was asking to come into the store. Now, the question that I asked and that I proposed to the people in my community tab was whether or not in that situation would you allow this person into the store. Now, keep in mind that our job at the location where I primarily work is to offer security contract services to protect the client, protect the customers, protect the associates, and protect any of the other security personnel that works there, right? We have outside security that works basically like parking lot control, things like that. But situations that happen on the peripheral of the building, that is not our concern. And you have to remember that working here in Portland, we're in a pretty dangerous area. Stabbings, shootings, overdoses, those things are pretty commonplace. So it's important for us to maintain focus on what it is that we're supposed to be doing. I asked the question in my community tab, if you were in this situation, what would you do? And I gave 4 options. Option number 1 was to simply deny entry. Hey, you're not coming in here. You got to go somewhere else. You got to go down the road, figure out what you're going to do. That was option number 1. Option number 2 was to go outside to render potential aid, have this person sit down outside of the establishment, contact law enforcement, contact EMS. Option number 3 was to take the person, bring them into the store, render aid, call law enforcement. By bringing them into the store, you're taking them away from any potential threat that might be outside. And I think maybe option 4 was to go after the potential person that stabbed this person. If you were to be pointed in the direction, hey, that guy over there did it, that guy in that car, that's my car, that's the guy that did it, what would you do? Most people, I think it was over 80% of the people that commented, they said that they would take the person into the store. Now, for me, that's absolutely insane because working in a security capacity, remember that your job is to protect the people in that location. A lot of times we think about what is the morally right thing to do. Is it what is the best thing that we can do in this situation to help the person? And a lot of times when we're doing that, we're not thinking about what our job is in that moment. Now, I am not here to tell you whether or not you as an individual security guard, you as an individual security officer, whatever that may be, what you should do. In that situation, you might say, hey, look, morally, I cannot see this person be stabbed outside. Leave them outside and only focus on what's going on inside that store. You might say that morally, I cannot not go after the person that potentially harmed this person, knowing that I'm armed with a firearm, that I have the ability to apprehend this person, to potentially take this person off the street and make sure they're not able to do this to somebody else. All of those are very understandable, very admirable stances. But what I want you guys to think about, what I want you guys to take into account is that what is the morally right thing to do in certain situations will not. I'm not saying that it sometimes won't, right? A lot of times, what is the morally right thing to do, it will not align with what the contract, what you are being paid to be there to do, is asking you to do. Not only that, a lot of times the morally and ethically right thing to do will put you in a situation where you're in harm's way. You could be in harm's way in terms of civil liability for any aid that you render, any aid that you don't render, anything that you do in terms of going after a person or potentially arresting someone, detaining someone, going hands-on with someone, harming someone. All of this outside the scope of your work could put you in a situation where now you are liable or at fault for anything that happens after you take that action. Another thing that a lot of times in situations like this people don't think about is, what if the person that is coming up to your door, the person that has been stabbed, the person that has been shot, what if they're truly the initial aggressor? What if that person comes into your location and the subject truly is still in the area and comes in after them? All of the problems that were now outside of the location that you're protecting, securing, and working at have now come from outside of your location into your location, and now it truly is your situation to deal with. Again, I'm not here to tell you what decision you need to make. Part of the stance of having this channel, part of the entire reason why I come on here and make these videos for you guys, is because what I want is for you to think, right? It's not so much that I'm here to try and educate you or here to try and teach you or train you. I'm simply offering an opportunity for you guys to run through these scenarios and these thought processes based on situations that I deal with on a daily basis. So that if and when the time ever comes where you're dealing with something very, very similar to this, you will have already thought, what is my limit? What are my boundaries? What am I willing to do? What am I willing to get involved in? Is this the best decision for the contract? Is this the best decision for my company? Does this align with our policies? Does this align with the mission of why we're here? If you think about guys who are in the military, you think about guys who are at the tip of the spear in the military, those guys are in situations where they have one specific goal. Think of like a Navy SEAL, an Army Ranger, MARSOC Marine. They have one specific goal: go into this foreign theater, find these 5 people, take out this one target. And think of all of the things that they must see when they're in that area. They see people starving. They see people going through, different genocide. They see people, in all kinds of situations. And they have these moral feelings of like, man, we should get involved. We're here with all this weaponry. We're here with all this technology. We have, the manpower to help these people over here, help those people over there. But they have a specific task. And doing anything outside of the realm of what they're there for, it could set off an international incident. It could kick off a 3rd World War, right? They don't have the ability to just unilaterally make these decisions, even if potentially it would be the right or the morally right thing to do. And I want you guys to think about that when you're working in private security. There is a video that we did last week of a subscriber who found himself in a situation where he was facing an aggravated assault charge in Philadelphia. Guys, that's 18 months minimum prison time with a maximum of 10 years in prison. All because he left property, decided to go hands-on in a situation where allegedly, potentially, maybe he deployed a taser. Because it was the morally right thing to do in a situation where he felt that's the way that he needed to handle that situation. But the law, potentially, and the consequences of his actions did not care about his moral compass in that situation. And what I don't want is for other security guards to find themselves in that exact same situation. I don't want to find myself in that exact same situation. That's why we talk about this stuff, okay? So think about what you would do in some of these circumstances. Would you render aid? Would you bring that person into the location that you're working? Would you have them stay outside and contact the police, let the police handle it? Would you go after the potential suspect if you had the opportunity? Or would you simply move them along to the next store in the shopping mall? Think about that. Ask yourself these questions and ask yourself if you can live with the consequences on either side of the equation of whatever you answer. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here and grab something to eat. It is Monday. I hope you guys have a great week. If you're working, please make sure that you're keeping your head on a swivel. Stay safe. Watch your back. Watch your six. And I want all of you to be great. Okay? You guys be great.